Now, Mike Lamb played in the major leagues for 9 years. When he signed, he was with the Houston Astros. This is the bat, actually one of the bats he used when he played with the Astros. And I have done the Wright Balance Express using this bat this morning. So I want to put on the bar and show you what you can expect if you're playing baseball. This is really where my sport, where I began many, many years ago. So if you'll see now, when I get set, how square my hips are here. And having done the Express with this bat, you'll notice how square my hips remain here. The thing that I feel though is my weight with this bat handle size has moved to the balls of my feet. So I'm gonna feel I actually will have to a bit change direction. I'll have to rise if I were to use this bat handle size. Now, where does this come from? Players, and back in my day, if you will, many 50 years ago, we didn't have aluminum bats. We had wooden bats, and my teammates and I would sand down the handle, or we'd add tape, or until it just felt right. And we didn't know really, there was no science to what we were doing. And if you go back and you look at some of the old photos of bats that some great hitters used, you'd see they have some very large, not just barrel, but very large handles on those bats. So, but this is what took our pros to very small bat handles over the years. And Reggie Smith, 7-time All-Star with the Dodgers, the Red Sox, and the Cardinals over his years, worked with us and took our bat sizing, hand sizing system into spring training 2 years in a row. And during spring training, Reggie came back and said, you know, these guys just don't want to change. For a couple of reasons. Obviously, they're in spring training, they don't want to make a major change, a big change before they go into their season. But they were so used to using these thin-handled bats, the larger bat handles didn't work. But what we did find, I met Mike, back to Mike Lamb. When I met Mike, he was playing with the Yankees and his last year, and he wanted an advantage. So we measured his hand size and had a bat cut, and this is it, had a bat cut that specifically fit his hands. So I want to show you now what happens when I set up with this bat versus this other bat. Why don't you go have a seat someplace? Come on, come over here. Come on. So with the bat Mike used when he played with the Yankees, you'll see, if you look carefully, you can see that there is a bulge here. Mike was left-handed, and his left hand was larger in those days. Now with the Wright Balance Express, we don't need a differential hand size. Once we have that bat in hand, it's going to fit both. But let me show you. I'm going to go to the same line here, and before I do anything, you can see, ideally you can tell how square my hips are, okay? So I take my larger handled bat, and notice where my hips immediately go. So my hips are open, my weight is forward in the right, back in the left. My tendency will be to pull the ball to left field or to right as a right-handed hitter. Block it, if you will, out to right. And this bat handle, if I go back to his original bat, his rookie year with the Astros, and I get set with it, this is the one I did the Wright Balance Express with this morning, you can see how square I am. Now, why is this important? Well, vision and balance are tied intimately together. And when we were working a lot with Reggie Smith and Mike, Omar Vizquel, we had a lot of major league players come through our biomechanics lab. We set up baseballs, and ideally you can see that fine line on the baseball. We had 6 baseballs like this, and this is something, if you're a coach, something you really want to try, because we line them up down the middle of the plate and about 18 to 24 inches apart. And what we found, consistent of what we found originally in the biomechanics lab at Centinela and Dr. Job's lab, vision and balance, as I just said earlier, are tied closely together. So if I had the correct size bat, we found, that line looked like it was going right down the middle of the plate. If I picked up a bat that did not have the correct size handle, that line, and I got set, that line now either looks like it's outside or inside. So your visual perception of the ball in space, where really, in reality, where it is a function of balance. So the relief from the release of the pitch to the ball. And we know that hitters, as a hitter, the sooner you can pick up that pitch, the better you're going to perform, the better you're going to hit. And vision is everything. Now take a look, if you would, at this very quick clip. This is after Mike was fit in this bat handle size, and he went back to play, and listen to his descriptions, very brief, of what he was able to do now prior to having been fit in bat handle size. And as you watch this, please remember, stance width was an issue. Now it is no longer an issue if you've done the Wright Balance Express. But he had to be in a very precise stance width that fit his core region. So take a look.
In a little bit, it changes the visual perception of the ball coming at you. And now you have to make an adjust. It's a unconscious adjustment, because you're not sitting there going, "Oh, the ball's away from me, I gotta do this," but yet you're making an adjustment. Whereas if you square to home plate, now you're not making that adjustment. It frees up a part of the brain to concentrate on what's really happening. Like, and I sit there going, "That's amazing. The human body is amazing that I could sit here like this, yet when I swing at the ball, I'm like this." And it's a slider, and it's doing this, or doing that, or doing this, or doing that, and I can still hit it.
You know,
that's amazing, man.
Clip, Mike's vision changed dramatically. He was able to pick up a pitch that he couldn't pick up before having the bat fit to his hand size. Now we're way ahead of the game. But I do want to show you now what happens if I do the Express with remember, this is the handle that opened my hips. I'm going to go through this. I will edit this video so you get through it pretty quickly. But I'm going to do the Express with this handle size now, and I'll show you the difference. Now, let me put the bar on and show you exactly what changed by experience. Now, this is the bat I just did the Wright Balance Express with. I'm going to stand here on the same line. And now, a couple of things you'll notice. If you look at the other, well, I'll show you the other in a second. My weight was well forward. Now it's going to allow me to clear my hips. Notice how easy it is for me to turn through. And the way to experience this is just move to the balls of your feet and try and turn. You have to change, you will change direction. You don't have to, but you will, based on balance. Now that I'm back, hips are square, vision is spot on, and I am able to turn through, clear my hips, and get in a position, a very different position of performance. Very simple, 2-minute exercise. This is the bat I showed you at the beginning of this video, where I had earlier done the Wright Balance Express. Now look what that bat now opens me. because doing the Express with 2 different handle sizes changed my balance, changes my vision, and now my body's going to perform very differently. On a final note, 34-inch, 31-ounce bat. So when Mike talks about his power with this bat, with the changes, and what he was able to do, and we don't have the science on this, Mike did this on his own. He went from a 34-inch, 31-ounce to a 34-inch, 34-ounce because now he had greater size of the handle. He could move mass out of the barrel. And when you hold these bats out or up like this bat feels a lot heavier. This one is 3 ounces heavier. So he said he had much greater power. And he said it was very difficult to break this bat. In fact, I don't think he ever did. His last year, and so it's something you can do to change. If you're being coached to turn through. I talked to Mike as recently as last month. We actually fit his 15-year-old son. And Mike talks about coaching now is just turn the body, clear the hips. You're not going to be able to do that with the wrong handle size. You've got to have a handle size big enough that moves your balance over the center of the arches. Then you're going to be able to clear your hips. So if we have online certification now for Wright Balance, or check, we have Wright Balance professionals in 13 countries all over the U.S., throughout Europe, Asia. We have one in Ecuador, Mexico, Venezuela, and the list goes on. So please check us out online, wrightbalance.com, spelled with a W. And thank you for watching.